You ever find yourself scrolling online, you see all these people succeeding, and you think, man, why isn't that me? The real opportunities must be somewhere else. It's a feeling we all get. But what if I told you that a lecture from over 100 years ago holds the key to finding incredible wealth? Not out there somewhere, but right where you're standing. Today, we're going to dive into Acres of Diamonds, a powerful idea with a message that's almost too simple to believe.
This one sentence, this is the heart of the whole thing. For more than a century, this idea has been a massive wake-up call for people. It's a pretty wild thought, right? That every single one of us is already standing on a goldmine of potential, but we're just completely blind to it.
Okay, but what does that really mean in day-to-day life? To make this crystal clear, Conwell tells this powerful, almost heartbreaking story that's meant to be a huge warning for all of us.
And that brings us to the story of a Persian farmer named Alhafed. His story is this incredible cautionary tale about how dreaming of some far-off treasure can make us completely miss the riches we already have.
See, Alhafed wasn't struggling, not at all. He had a great farm, orchards, a family, he was comfortable, he was happy. But then one day, a visitor starts telling him all about diamonds, painting this picture of just unbelievable wealth and power, and suddenly, everything he had just didn't feel like enough anymore.
So what does he do? He makes a massive, life-altering choice. He sells it all, his land, his home, everything. And he leaves his family behind to go chase this glittering idea of finding diamonds somewhere out in the world. He was completely all in on finding his fortune someplace else.
He looked absolutely everywhere, across deserts, over mountains, and he found nothing. This dream totally consumed him, and it just drained his money, his energy, and eventually his spirit. The promise of wealth just led to total despair.
And for him, the story has a tragic end. He dies alone, completely broke, and with nothing to his name. Far, far away from the home and the life that he just walked away from. A really sad end to what was a pretty desperate search.
But hold on, the story isn't over, and this is where the incredible twist comes in. Back at the very same farm that Alhafed sold, the new owner is just walking by a stream on the property and notices something odd. A weird, sparkling stone just sitting in the water.
Yeah, you can probably guess where this is going. That little stone? It was a massive diamond. The land that Alhafed sold off to go chase some dream of wealth was, in reality, sitting on top of one of the richest diamond mines in all of history. The treasure he spent his life searching for was literally under his feet the whole time.
So the big lesson from this story is that opportunity is so often overlooked because it's familiar. It's right in front of our faces. We just dismiss the ordinary stuff, never realizing it might hold something truly extraordinary.
You know, Conwell has this brilliant way of explaining it. He says opportunity is like the air we breathe. It's everywhere, it's all around us, all the time, but we hardly ever notice it's even there. The problem isn't a lack of opportunity, it's a lack of vision.
And this is the question that just hits you right between the eyes. How often are we just like that farmer? How often do we look at someone else's success with envy, all while we're completely ignoring the potential in our own jobs, our own skills, our own neighborhoods?
This leads us to the next really crucial layer of this whole idea. Conwell argues that real wealth isn't about just getting lucky and finding some treasure. No, it's about intentionally creating something valuable for the people around you.
So the big mind shift is this: stop chasing money and start chasing needs. The real question you should be asking is, what do the people in my community, in my job, in my industry, what do they really need, and how can I be the one to fill that need? According to Conwell, the answer to that question is where true wealth comes from.
You can really see the two different paths here, right? One is the farmer's path, this restless search for some far-off opportunity, always feeling like you're missing out. The other path is all about creating value exactly where you are. And that doesn't just lead to money, it leads to a real sense of fulfillment. It's the difference between chasing and building.
Conwell also hits on this idea that wanting to be wealthy is somehow greedy or shameful. He says no, it's the exact opposite. Money that you earn by serving other people is an incredibly powerful tool for good. It builds hospitals, it supports families, it can lift up an entire community. The real shame isn't being wealthy, it's letting your potential go to waste.
Okay, so the philosophy is great, but how do we actually do this? How do we start seeing these supposed diamonds that are right under our noses?
Well, Conwell actually breaks it down into a pretty simple 4-step guide.
First, you got to examine your ground. That means taking a hard, honest look at your current job, your unique skills, and the community you're in. Step 2, identify a need. Look for the problems, the gaps, what's missing that people need. Then, 3, apply your skills. This is where you connect what you're good at to that need you just found. And finally, and this is probably the hardest part, work with persistence. You have to stick with it, day in and day out.
And that last point is so critical. The diamonds don't just magically appear, they have to be mined. Success isn't for the person who's just sitting around waiting for the perfect opportunity to fall into their lap. It's for the person who shows up every single day and gets to work with what they already have.
So as we wrap this up, the message becomes incredibly clear, doesn't it? The amazing potential you're looking for probably isn't in another city or another job or some other life. It's right here, right now.
And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. The tragedy of the farmer wasn't that he didn't have diamonds. It was that he couldn't see them. He was blind to what was right in front of him. And it suggests that maybe the biggest obstacle any of us face is just our own perspective, our blindness to the opportunities all around us.
So I'll leave you with this one last question to really chew on. What opportunities, what skills, what needs in your own life have you just been dismissing as ordinary? Because the answer to that question might just be your own personal acre of diamonds.